Welcome back to another episode of Plant-Based Dads. I'm Joey Troxel. Today I'm going to show you how to make our high-protein breakfast burritos. This is a meal prep recipe. It makes 10 big burritos that you can freeze and then thaw out when you're ready to eat them. They are a handful. It's a nice, robust meal with some really good macros. Let's get started. I'm starting off with 1.5 pounds or 600 grams of potatoes. This is just like a potato medley bag, so there's some white and some red. I'm just dicing them up. I kind of want them all to be the same size, and I just want them to cook evenly. You can peel the skins off and peel them if you want. I choose not to do that. It's a lot of work, and the skins do have some nutrition, so I leave the skins on. But if you're not a skin person, feel free to cut them off. All potatoes are diced in kind of the same size, and next I'm going to put in my seasoning. I'm going to put in a bit of this avocado spray oil just to get the seasonings to stick to the potatoes, and I'll mix that up so it can coat. You can leave this part out if you'd like. I'm going to add a teaspoon of Italian seasoning here. Next, I'm going to add a teaspoon of onion powder. After that, it's a teaspoon of garlic powder. Now I'm adding a teaspoon of chili powder and a teaspoon of smoked paprika. Alright, I'm just going to use my spoon here and get this all mixed up. I want to get all of the potatoes coated with all that seasoning because that's the flavor right there. Alright, you can see right there, those potatoes are beautifully coated and they are ready to cook. Next, I'm just going to put the potatoes on a air fryer tray here and spread them around. Alright, so the potatoes are on a sheet pan. I'm going to put these into the air fryer at 400 degrees for about 30 to 35 minutes until they're nice and soft, and then they'll be done. Next, we're going to get started with the TVP. We want this to rehydrate. I have here about 3 cups or 286 grams of dried textured vegetable protein. I'm going to add just under that in water, so about 2.5 cups of water. So this will rehydrate. Then I'm going to grab my spoon over here and kind of get that mixed in. And we'll have to sit this alone for a while so it can kind of do its thing. But I want to start getting it mixed up here. You could add the seasonings to it right now, which would probably be a good idea. I'm going to wait till everything's in the pan. Alright, so I don't want to overwater this because I want to give it enough to rehydrate, but not so much where it's going to like be soup, because I don't want that. This is going to take the place of ground beef in the burritos that we're making. And we're making a lot of burritos, so we need plenty of this. Alright, that looks pretty good there. So I'm just going to take this and set it aside and let it rehydrate and do its thing.
Okay, I think for this recipe you could use a yellow onion or a white onion. We happen to have this white onion, which is I think the perfect size that we need today, and it's probably about to go bad, so we want to use this up. Additionally, we've got 2 bell peppers. This is going to make it colorful, really nice. You can use green if you want. It was more of just for a visual.
We're going to start by adding 1 medium-sized or 150 grams of onion, just kind of chopped up here and diced. I'll move that around and let it start sauteing. You want to keep everything moving so there's no stickage. If it does look like it's starting to stick, you can throw a bit of water in here and do some water sauteing. And you just want to get the onions to be translucent. This is the Dastrong skillet. It's got these huge sides, and we're going to need it for this recipe. So this is definitely the pan for this job. There's a link below this video where you can purchase your own Dastrong products. While that's cooking, we're going to throw in about 150 grams of different colored peppers. You could use 1 color if you want, but we're using all 3 because it's a fancy show. And I'm going to add just a little bit of salt to sweat the veggies. Alright, that's looking pretty sauteed there. I'm going to add in the TVP, which has now absorbed all the water, and it's ready to start cooking. There we go. And this is why we needed a big size of pan, because there is a lot of this. Alright, I'm going to get that mixed up here. Get it all combined. While that's happening, I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons, 2 eventual tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, whatever you want to call it. I don't know, I'm not from Massachusetts. There you go. Just keep moving it around so it doesn't stick. If you need to add more water to make sure it doesn't stick, then do that. But just don't add too much water where it changes the temperature of the pan. Alright, this is starting to look good. We'll let that heat through and get hot. Now I'm also adding another dose of all the seasonings I used before. The ones I used for the potatoes, so I'm just popping that right in here. So not only will the potatoes be seasoned in the burrito, but the TVP will also. The TVP is really good at absorbing all of those seasonings, so that'll be really nice. If you need to add a little bit of water, you can.
Okay, to me this just looks a little bland. I mean, it tastes good, but I think we need to kick it a little bit with some jalapenos. And we don't have any fresh, so this can will have to do. Now there are like cans of green tomatoes or chilies, but we're going with the jalapeno. I think this dish can handle it.
Alright, now while that's happening, we're going to pop in about, well, this is 80 grams, for about 1/4 cup maybe, or 1/2 cup of tomato paste.
Yep.
And we're also going to add in 4 cloves of garlic diced. Let's add that in, and we may need to add some water in it. The tomato paste is going to cause it to stick a little bit, so it'll make a fond.
We're going to need that. A little bit of water to help marry these flavors and help it not stick so much. Kind of going around and mashing this up so tomato, the garlic gets shared. So this whole process, Joey and I have been keeping in mind calories and ratio to protein. So we are holding back here. Like, there aren't tomatoes. We could have put more pepper and onion in, but to keep this low calorie and part of a meal or a snack, kind of got to keep the macros down. So.
But you make it your own. You do you, boo.
Yeah.
Alright, I think this is good. We're going to shut this off and let this cool and put this aside, and we'll get started on the egg mixture. Alright, so next we're going to add the just egg. I'm using about 2 containers. I'll probably have to do this in batches. It does look that way. But I'm just going to move this around just so it doesn't stick until it starts scrambling. Right now I'm doing this over low to medium heat, more low than anything.
Alright, so we increased the protein and maybe the fluffability of these just egg. Do you want to show them how to do that?
Yes. Yeah, Tim's talking about we made a little higher protein egg by adding some yogurt. Here's how we did it. We're adding some of our Greek yogurt recipe. It's about 2/3 cup if you're not using our recipe. Like if you're just buying Kite Hill or something. And we're going to put that in here. We're going to mix it up with the just egg, just to give it some more protein, so it's a higher protein meal. And you can see here it's all starting to mix. A lot of times people use cottage cheese for this, but of course it's a vegan channel. We're not using cottage cheese. So you can see here it's all starting to break up.
Yeah, we've done this before. I think it helps with the fluffiness with it.
Yeah. Alright, that's looking good right there. There's no chunks of yogurt, so this is ready to pop in. This is how we're going to make sure it has higher protein. And I like to add pepper to just egg when I'm making it, just to give it some flavor, because I like pepper in my eggs. And you can see here it's starting to scramble a little bit, so that's perfect.
I think scrambling just egg is kind of hard. So I'm so glad Joey's taking the time to show this, because it's turning out.
Yeah.
And you are really good at this.
Yeah, you don't want to rush it, otherwise it doesn't really look like eggs. And it's going to be in the burrito anyway. I don't know if anybody cares what it looks like, but just so you can see, this product does scramble, right? So there you go. And this batch is done, so I'm just going to dump this in a bowl and go on to the next batch. For the burrito shells, we're using these Olay Extreme Wellness High Fiber tortilla wraps. They are 100 calories each and about 6 grams of protein. They make other ones that are better macros, but this is the only ones really that we could get from our local Kroger. You can order some better ones online. We're going to start with these. We are going to heat the burritos up one at a time before we wrap them, before we stuff them, just so they're pliable, and then we're going to sear them once they're stuffed. So we'll show you how we do that. All right, so you need to put 1/10 of each one of these into these burritos. So Tim did measure this out. So we've got 1/10 of the mince right there. And I'm really bad at wrapping burritos, so I want to kind of keep it all in one little part here. After that, we're putting 1/10 of the egg mixture in here. Just want to kind of keep all this together. It's already looking really good. Holy smoke. All right. I'm just hoping that I could wrap this without a problem. And then finally, we're putting 1/10 of the potato recipe in here. Potatoes are really seasoned to perfection. I mean, they're going to be really good. All right, let's get that all in there and move it around so we get a little bit of potato in every bite. This guy is here trying to make a run for it. All right. Now you can put salsa on here, you can put seasoning here, but since this is meal prep and we're going to be wrapping them and you can freeze them or whatever, I don't want to put any of that, the liquidy stuff, right? That's going to wind up being mushy, but you can totally do that. I'm also going to sprinkle some chives on here, and that's it. And now I'm going to, I suck at this, but I'm going to attempt to wrap this up.
Do
you know how to do it?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, we're both bad.
All right, Tim's going to wrap it up because I suck at this, and if it goes wrong, I want to blame someone.
So I think you're on the right track. Folding it in, and then coming over here, and then when you come down, we're going to tuck it. Tuck it in so it's nice and tight. Fold the ends in.
So fold and tuck, baby.
Yes.
All right, there you go. So we're going to take this, after we've done 10 of them, we're going to take this over to the frying pan, and we're going to place it with the seam side down. Actually, this is very nicely done, by the way. We're going to put the seam side down, and we're going to sear these, and then this will be a nice, where's the cameraman? This will be a really nice, big breakfast burrito.
This is awesome. We know what the macros are.
Yep.
And then at the end, we can add the Greek-style yogurt.
Yeah, you can like dip the
salsa verde.
You can absolutely do a dip of sauce on or whatever. So we're going to do 10 of these, and then we'll sear them, and we'll show you what they look like. All right, and there you have it. 10 beautiful, beautiful burritos. I mean, Tim, how good did these look, right?
They look awesome. Putting the fillings in.
Oh my god,
it's gonna be great.
I mean, look at these things. This is like this is a meal right here, right? All right, let's go to the macros. All right, so we're looking at the macros here. One of the things I wanted to show you, whenever I show you macros, whatever in that recipe name box, that's what it's called in Chronometer for me. So if you are friends with me and you make this recipe, that's the name you're looking for. So you can pull up my recipe and you can use my macros if you make the recipe. So you don't have to type everything in separately. So just a little clue there. So here you can see all of the ingredients, everything that we used here, the amounts, all of it. And you can also see on the very bottom that it makes 10 servings. So when you read this, that's what you're looking at. You could make 8 burritos, you could make 14, and it really is up to you. But if you make 10 servings, 10 burritos, these are the macros. The macros I'm about to show you, those are the macros you're getting for those 10 burritos. As far as the macros go, one burrito is 426 calories. It comes in at about 14.2 grams of fat, about 52 carbohydrates, and 36.5, so almost 37 grams of protein. So it is a really nice way and a full way to get your day started. This is a nice big meal for the calories. There'll be freezing and thawing directions in the description below this video, so check those out if you want to make these ahead of time. That's our video for today. Hit that like button, show us some love, click on the subscribe button, click on that bell, you'll get notified every time we have a video, usually every Tuesday, and leave a comment below. Are you going to make these? Do you like to plan your week out ahead of time? You all know that I do. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.